community side. And I tend to say there's a community side of WordPress and then there's the marketing side of WordPress. On the community side, a lot of us are talking about underscores. This theme is it's basically a bare bones theme. All you got to do is add the CSS and the HTML and PHP, and it's done. Everything else is already put together. You just type in the theme name, theme slug, and everything. Hit generate, and it literally generates a file with all the basic frameworks of the theme already put together.
Cool.
So it's a really cool thing just to throw up stuff. So if you know a little bit of coding, you can basically throw this theme up really fast. I mean, you probably within a couple days of coding and have something to push out on the word. And same thing by using the base frameworks here. All these, by the way, are free frameworks. None of these you have to pay for.
Options is cool. I use it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Here's Carrington. This is the 3.3 version. Here's all the files for that. Here's Gantry. This is another one. Hybrid 4. This is another theme development framework. Now, which one you were mentioning? Options right here.
Yeah.
Here's Options, which is a GitHub. All these are GitHub. There's also Redux is also one from GitHub, and Up Themes from GitHub as well. And then there's what you were talking about with the drag and drop features. There's plugins that do that. A lot of people don't know that, but there's a ton of plugins that do that. This one here, literally, you can drag and drop, and everything operates like a widget almost. This is literally a drag and drop editor, page editor, and it's free from WordPress. No one has to buy anything. So you can add this as the features, and you've got all those bells and whistles that everybody wants.
And
which one? Drag and drop. Hold on. It's I'm going to post it in the group here.
Hopefully Rick Roberts is recording this. It would be really cool if he is.
Yeah. And let me get you the framework link here. And the underscores me. All that stuff. How many people are non-coders in the room?
Me.
How many people want to code?
Rather not. I'm not that good at it.
I have to, not because I want to. Well, the reason I ask is there's actually a really good coding program from Codecademy. I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but it's a really good program.
Oh yeah, that's the one you were telling me about, the Jack, to actually.
You actually have to code just to sign up and do everything. Yeah.
Yeah, can you post that link? I wanted to see that when we were talking.
Yeah, it's a really good program for those that are trying to beginning coding. It has HTML, PHP, CSS, jQuery, Java, Ruby on Rails, Python, APIs. Name it, it pretty much has it. Except for ASP and Flash, which no one should be using anyways.
Exactly.
Not anymore.
Yeah. I was surprised they had Python and Ruby on Rails on there. That kind of shocked me. And it's free. The whole thing is free. There's no charge at all. It requires you to actually go step by step on processes and actually physically type the code. So it's basically learning code by copy and pasting. In a way.
I told y'all this would be a great call. We're gonna stir it up. I told Steve to be on this call. Told Rick. I know that I'd get a little bit of people that would show up, and I didn't send out an email.
Everybody here knows me, I think.
Yeah, so I told you that just pay attention. This guy knows what he's talking about. We definitely need to work with Joshua on building up a WordPress thing. Now, something else that Joshua brought to my attention, and it made sense when he said it, and it started the wheels in motion. And tell us a little bit about the theme forest and a couple of the other competitors and how many there were.
What I was talking to Rick about was once you start building out the themes, you can just start building out your own theme site network, like Theme Forest and Elegant Themes, Studio Press, like they all have. And as long as you keep them updated over a longer period of time, people will subscribe to them. A lot of them require annual renewals. So that's an ongoing revenue stream. Sorry? What did she say?
I don't know.
There's no route. She's still got poison up in the
Oh wow.
Guys, you know he can't do two things at one time.
Who's driving? Driving.
I don't know, but I do like.
Driving down the road.
Yeah, but let's get back to what he was talking about here with the different theme. The different. Okay, I'll solve that. I'm gonna solve that right now.
Mute your mic, please.
There, that.
There we go. I don't know who that was, but
That's my. Go
the
ahead.
nice thing about doing a theme site is, plus you can also sell them off individually on theme cars and other sites like that. So you have multiple places you can actually market on. It's another advantage of these.
Let's look at a couple of those while we're on that subject. Let's not lose track of this for a moment. Literally, let's. I mean, you gave me a number. There's really not that many theme companies out there that are really well known. I mean, half a dozen.
Really, a lot of them that actually manage their stuff. So if you become one of those companies that manages everything, then you're going to be the one that stands out. Instead of being like everybody else on the warrior part. Right. Up and down. Yeah.
Is this making sense to you guys, ladies and gentlemen? Is this something that gets your interest?
Been around forever. They've been dropping actually on their service after Copy Blogger bought it out. So they haven't updated any new themes really in almost a year. They've updated the framework, they've updated the themes as far as making sure they work, but they're not creating new designs at all. So the framework's still solid. I still use it because the framework's solid, but we build out everything in child themes because the designs just haven't improved. Not since he sold it to Copy Blogger.
Genesis 2.0 beta.
Yeah, it's coming out right now. Unfortunately, and that's good. The new framework's coming out. I'm hoping they come out with new designs with it. I've known Brian since 2010, before he sold out to Copy Blogger, because he was actually the first host. The first WordPress I ever attended was actually ran by Brian Gardner, which owns Studio Press, because he's here in Chicago. And then a couple years ago, we had somebody else, and then I got on the planning committee the last 2 years. But Brian ran this thing like 4 years ago, I think.
When are you going to do one down here in North Carolina?
The WordCamp, there is one in North Carolina coming up on, let's see here. If you go, and I'm going to put this in the link here for everybody. There's one all over the country. You just find the one that's closest to your location. There's also, actually, they're all over the world. So even if you're overseas, there may be a location for you. Upcoming work camps. See, Wisconsin, Washington, Japan, Illinois, Canada, UK, Brazil, California, Arkansas, Ohio, Rhode Island, Alabama. Okay, let's look at past work camps and see what's back in the day. Let's see if we can see anything in North Carolina here.
Tennessee, that's not too far. That's up in Rick's neighborhood.
That's good. Right there.
That's across the state.
Let's see. Hold on. There's 5 of these.
North Canton.
Ohio. It's Ohio. Raleigh, Durham, back in 9. Apparently, y'all don't do a lot of stuff up there, man. But I tell you who does. Atlanta has one every year. They just did theirs back in March. But they're all over the world. I mean, you want to go to Winnipeg, you want to go to Nicaragua, you want to go to Korea, wherever you want to go, Melbourne, Transylvania.
Canton, Ohio.
Yeah. Jerusalem, Israel. India, Italy. Anybody interested? Norway? Write it off as a tax expense?
Yeah, it would be.
Exactly. Philippines. Right. Go down there and hire a few outsourcers while you're down there.
Can I throw out an opinion? When I buy a theme, I often am looking for a niche-specific theme, partially populated. Even better when it has actually valid text for the niche, not just a bunch of some dollar or whatever.
And you know, that's not necessarily that hard to do.
I agree. You have a staff that does that every day.
Well, no, I'm saying that if you wanted to just create just basic generic themes and just have it pre-populate out all the stuff in there, as long as you gave them the files for the theme and had all the stuff that's pre-populated, like through Backup Buddy, or even if you don't have Backup Buddy, let's go with the free stuff that most people don't think of.
There's a way just to do a content import on an existing theme.
There is. There's
one
whole
of them that
kinds of
I've
ways
used
to do it.
had that.
Here is one that I like that's free that most people don't know about. Let me see.
So the reason I bring it up is to toss out the fact that we may want to consider niche-oriented themes, even if it's just initially, or if that's a secondary thought. I don't know, but I think.
And I will say this: one of the problems you'll run into with some of the backup systems, and I'm sure Mark runs into this too. Some host companies don't work with different ones, so you got to make sure the hostings are compatible with different ones. That's why I tell people, try out a couple different ones and see what works best for you. This one is actually one of the best free ones I've ever seen. These are probably the two best free ones I've ever seen out there. For those that haven't seen it, this one works almost identical to Backup Buddy, and it's called Duplicator. Does all your backups and everything. So that means that you can create the actual file, and exactly what Mark was saying. You can either use this or do what Mark was saying with the XML, which is basically just creating the content and then exporting and importing it in. On this one here, you'll see that the plugins duplicator. This literally creates an exact clone of everything they have, content and all.
Well, does anyone else think that there's some validity to that strategy, or is it just silly me?
No, it's valid.
And then, like I said, Duplicator can do that because it can clone anything that's on that site. Period. Everything, even the database. It can clone everything. And because the client has it, they have their own backup system built in. So now you're selling them not just the site, but a built-in backup to clone.
Okay, so now we have a feature to add.
That's a feature, exactly. So if you start looking at some of the free options from WordPress, you have all the features, bells, and whistles that you'll ever dream of. There was somebody in the Warrior Forum, and I know that Mark knows his name probably off the top of his head. He built out a theme, pretty much all done with free stuff from the Warrior Forum, including S2 member and everything else already set up for a membership site. And he sold it out. Remember that?
Yeah.
So you can do that. I mean, people don't realize that on the Warrior Forum. You can clone. You're not really stealing their information from WordPress because WordPress stuff is free. What you're able to do is you're able to use that because you're setting up the structure of everything. And Warrior Forum has no problem with that. I've already talked to the owner of it. They have no problem with us using free stuff and just putting it together and compiling it for everybody else.
It's no different than using the PL or public domain stuff for generating ebooks. You're getting paid for the package you put together and the time you put into it. You're not really selling the product, you're selling your package. Yeah, that easiest XML editor you'll ever find. I mean, you open up a file and it gives you a tree view, and you just click on the tree and type in the tag. And once you create a template for your article, go into WordPress, do an export as XML, and then open it up and grab those tags and use that as your template.
Sure. And then here's development stuff for those that are freaking out on all this stuff. Look at this. This is, I love this stuff. It's amazing.
You see where they're giving you Studio in the cloud for free?
Yeah.
I just got that notice today from MSDN.
Which one? Visual Studio?
Visual Studio Ultimate in the cloud.
For free?
For free.
If you're... Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're what?
Well, you've got to,
Buy.
no, I've been an Azure member for, what, 4 years? Well, Microsoft MSDN member. I haven't paid a dime yet.
There you go. And the nice thing about Microsoft that a lot of people don't know, and I'll just bring this up because one of the nice things about it, you can get some of the software like 2010 for free.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Visual Studio, and it's completely free. All you have to do is register, and they will give it to you for free. So those that are saying, I can't build software, I can't do this because I can't afford the software programs, this is free. You can build your own software programs off of this for Windows.
And you want to build one version back anyway, because that way you're not butting your head against somebody that hasn't updated their system in a while. You know, that's one of the things I ran into when I rolled out that social manager. A lot of people hadn't updated to hadn't updated to .NET 4.0, and it had been out for almost a year. But you know, I had to go in and recompile it to run on 3.5, and then send out an update saying, if you want to update .NET 4.0, you'll get these extra features.
Yeah, I'm going to show you all how quick it is for underscores, how fast it pops out theme. You literally type in the name of the theme. Now I'm not going to worry about all these other options, but you can fill those out too as well. And you just hit generate.
Downloading.
No, it's already done. It's right here. So if it's right here, and it basically creates all the files for you right there.
That's cool.
And then you can sit there and put whatever you want, put all the layouts in there, and do all that stuff. Here's the content sidebars and all that good stuff. It's just a blank theme. You basically customize the CSS and everything else, and it's ready to roll.
So instead of waiting on a developer in another part of the world and waiting for them to disappear for weeks and weeks at a time, when you're giving them thousands, when spending thousands of dollars of money that you didn't plan on spending, like I've done, and someone else has, Steve in particular has. We've all spent some money.
This saves you like a couple days of coding right here. The base stuff and the theme's already coded for you. All you got to do is throw in the design stuff, and you're up. You got a theme out, and you can go on to the next one, do it again.
Anybody like this?
If the thing works, that's even better.
There you go. Anybody like this approach, or anybody y'all liking this better than the text product?
Oh yeah.
Mark knows it. I think Mark knows from a business standpoint it's easier.
Well, you can still run the content. Give them a base level of content with some images.
Yep.
As a starter pack.
You got it. And here's the best part: if you do it right and you design it to be friendly, y'all can actually have your upsells done immediately. You can sit there and say, okay, here's the theme. Here's this theme. It's specifically we're going to give you this general business theme, general business concept already put together for you, and our upsell has these 5 others, the XMLs that you can put in and load up whatever you want for these specific niches. So there's your upsell right there.
And just set up the images on a cloud server, and when they upload the XML or WordPress, the WordPress export is XML. It's WML, ain't it?
I think it is an XML.
It's XML. I know it's an XML format. It's just they have WordPress tags in there.
Yeah, sure.
But we could upload those to the cloud, and in the export, it would pull from there, because one of the options is to import all the images as well. a lot of times that doesn't work because the guy that built this original site killed the images after he got the package built.
I've actually seen it. I've actually seen really bad developers that have the images on their own server, and they connect the stuff to the theme to their own server images, and then they go out of business. Their images go down, and the whole freaking site looks like crap all of a sudden.
Yep.
I've seen that too.
So now that we know that, we are all in agreement, at least on the concept of this, that it's not a lot of money or a lot of time to test this, and we agree that putting it in the cloud, the images and the files. All right, now that we've established that, let's shoot some ideas around on what would sell. What's our market? Remember, eventually we want to have that offline love that Joshua gets every day. Because once we get
the funny ones, I'll tell you the funny thing you never see on the Warrior Forum that surprises me. Everybody in the Warrior Forum sells, like he was talking about, all these niche sites.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the niche site for the actual person selling it?
Yeah. Well, that's usually the PLR packages, superplr.com.
No. I mean, what I mean is, you go out and you see all these people saying, "Here's a doctor's theme, here's a chiropractor theme, here's this theme." Where's the marketer's theme?
I've seen a few. I've seen a few marketers' themes.
Yeah, but there are way more people selling the other ones than the marketers' themes.
Yeah, because they're trying to include a payment processor and a shop e-commerce option and a membership option, without using plugins to do it. Yeah. Or if they do use plugins, they use S2.
And see, the nice thing about plugins is it actually does keep the code lighter if you don't need the functionality.
Yeah.
That was the hard code in every damn feature in that they'd ever want.
Well, let's take a couple of minutes.
And I can tell you that Underscore, me, and all the other frameworks I mentioned will pass Theme Affinity Checker. We'll guarantee it'll pass all that. The theme checkers on WordPress. If you try to use something else, you got to worry about the code being corrupted.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of these things in Warrior Form will not pass Theme Affinity Checker, which is a free plugin on WordPress as well to tell you if the code's corrupted. Most of them won't pass it.
Well, a lot of them, they'll just take, 2010, 2011, or 2012, and throw in some different images and maybe tweak the sidebar a little bit, or add a slider to the header and say, here's a new theme. And, by rights, it is a new theme. But, you go through the themes that they've got on Warriors Forum and look at them, probably 80% of them are just knockoffs of either Kubrick or Kubrick, however you pronounce it. They're still trying to peddle those.
I've never heard of that one.
That used to be the base WordPress theme way back.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
solid colored header.
So let's get down to the $64,000 question. And the question is, what's on my mind, and who has $64,000? No, that is not the $64,000 question. The $64,000 question is, now that we've established this, where is the next move on what's going to sell on the Warrior Forum, and eventually, how do we get that love in the offline community?
Well, the best thing you can do is research, ask.
Well, that's what.
You don't know.
Well, that's why we got you, man. That's why you've hooked us up, and we've destroyed SMS marketing all in 45 minutes. But that's okay. That kept us from going down a trail that might have cost us a lot of money and a lot of time. So,
here's a. Let me see if I can pull the thing we built recently. Let me see if I can remember the name of it first.
Hey, Rick Roberts, while you're on the line here, Rick, you there available?
Yeah.
Are you recording this?
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of everybody's hair. I'm gonna go upstairs, take a quick shower, and all that happy stuff. But I will try to be back in 15 or 20 minutes. But let's get down the brass tacks here. What's gonna sell in the Warrior Forum, and then eventually the offline. So, thank you so much, Joshua.
You got the answer or what?